CBS LA at 9.
I can't believe he's doing this.
Crash landing on the water. A seaplane with 11 people on board slams into a rocky shore and bursts into flames. How everyone made it out alive. The summer of snake bites. A local runner is the latest victim. Why he needed 34 doses of antivenom. And a Tesla tagger. New video of a man spraying messages on parked cars in Orange County. Police and car owners want your help finding him. Good evening. I'm Rudabe Shabazi. Pat Harvey is off tonight. And tonight, Mayor Karen Bass and her opponent in the mayoral race are trading shots over who is to blame for the uptick in homelessness on LA streets. CBS LA political reporter Tom Wade is here with a look at the new numbers and the brewing political fallout.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, we expected that, right, Rudabe? I mean, this is a huge issue in this election and will be probably for a very long time. LA's Homeless Authority says they're battling major headwinds, a steep cost of living in LA, a hostile Trump administration that continues cutting funds. But critics are wondering if billions are being spent to solve the homeless crisis. Why are the numbers going up? LA Mayor Karen Bass heads into the home stretch of a tough re-election battle facing frustrating news on one of her central issues. For the first time in 3 years, the city is seeing an increase in street homelessness. According to LA's Homeless Authority, also known as LAHSA, there are 73,000 people living on the streets of LA County. That's a 1.2% increase from last year. In the city of LA, the increase is slightly higher, a rise of 3.4% over last year. LAHSA leadership blames cuts in state and federal funding. A program to rapidly rehouse people also took a big hit. But officials say the main issue, the sky-high cost of living.
If you look at the economics, it is so difficult to live in this city. How many people are one paycheck away from ending up, maybe first couch surfing, then in an RV, then on the street? How many people are a couple medical bills away from that?
With billions of dollars pouring into homelessness outreach, LAHSA's interim CEO addressed frustration over why the numbers are going in the wrong direction.
It is a tremendous amount of money that this system, U.S. taxpayers, have put into this. But housing is really expensive. Helping folks off the street it's really expensive. The longer people stay on the street, the more cost it is.
Before the official count was out, Mayor Bass put out a statement, also blaming cuts in federal and state funding for the higher numbers, and says more people are on the streets because of Trump administration policies that are driving up prices. Bass's opponent, LA City Councilwoman Nithya Raman, who chairs the City Council's Committee on Homelessness, says Bass is not doing enough citywide to stem the crisis. In Raman's council district, the new numbers showed a decline in homelessness.
We have a very organized operation. We have one of the most aggressive interventionist approaches across the entire city.
Bass fired back in a statement Friday evening, saying Raman is taking credit for Bass's signature homeless outreach program, Inside Safe, which housed more than 200 people in Raman's district. Zev Yaroslavsky, who spent decades in LA politics as a councilman and an LA County supervisor, believes progress is still being made.
The number of homeless persons and homeless encampments, which has been the biggest problem, these massive encampments that we had 4 years ago, they have been significantly reduced. In some parts of the city, they've been completely eliminated.
Adding fuel to the fire, the Trump administration is trying to hold back hundreds of millions of dollars in federal homelessness funding, accusing city, county, and state leaders of waste and mismanagement. LAHSA is currently suing the Trump administration to unlock that funding. Back to you, Rudabe.
Tom, thank you. We're live over West Hollywood tonight, where crews say they expect to reopen Sunset Boulevard in the overnight hours. Workers had a setback this morning with a new leak while testing the pipe, and now a new plan will reroute water through another pipe, but it will cut service to about 25 customers. LADWP will also have to return in the coming weeks for a permanent street restoration. And a new water main break in Hollywood tonight. Kcal over the scene at Romaine and North Wilton Place. It's about 5 miles east of that water line break in West Hollywood. This one not nearly as big. LADWP says 37 customers are impacted. Another day of extreme temperatures. People were enjoying time outside today, from walks with their pets to soccer in the park and ice cream trips. The shade was definitely the place to be. Our next weather alert has been extended because of this heat. Meteorologist Danny Roberti is here. And Danny, we're staying hot through the weekend now, it turns out. Thank you, Danny. New details tonight on threats against President Trump while he was at the NATO summit in Turkey earlier this month. U.S. officials tell CBS News the president was urged by the Secret Service to fly out of Ankara on the old Air Force One jet instead of the new luxury jet gifted to him by the government of Qatar. We're told this is all because of a credible threat that Iranian proxy forces were targeting President Trump and the plane. The president ended up leaving the summit on the old Air Force One because it has defense capabilities that the new one doesn't. President Trump attended the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Security upgrades were in place after a gunman tried to storm the dinner when it was originally held in April. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette shows us everything that went into rescheduling the event.
Good evening, everybody. Let's try this again.
Take two of the White House Correspondents' Dinner began with its usual fanfare. The annual event was rescheduled after a gunman identified as 31-year-old Cole Allen rushed a security checkpoint during dinner, triggering a shootout with Secret Service agents that was heard inside. Allen was arrested before entering the ballroom and has pleaded not guilty to charges including the attempted assassination of President Trump. The rescheduled event was moved to a different Washington, D.C. hotel, the Waldorf Astoria. New security precautions, including enhanced screening of guests, were instituted, according to the president of the White House Correspondents Association, CBS News correspondent Weijia Jiang.
For obvious reasons, we're not going to talk about all the new security measures, but it was incredibly important that safety and security was the top priority for this event, just 3 months after what happened in April.
The director of the Secret Service also discussed security measures earlier this week.
We do expect bad people to show up. It's just a reality of where we are. But we're treating it no different than any other site that the president goes to.
President Trump spoke at the dinner.
As I said 3 months ago, the show must go on.
Almost 700 guests attended the rescheduled event. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Wanted by police. A man on a mission to vandalize Teslas, lots of them. He's spraying the words fascist and Nazi on every Tesla he can find in Orange County. CBS LA's Kcal Dt joins us live from Irvine tonight with the search for this Tesla tagger. Nicole.
Yeah, well, tonight we talked with a couple of different people who had their Teslas vandalized. They told me they've never seen this guy before, but they have a hunch about why the same types of messages were spray painted on so many cars. He strikes at night, a man with a can of red spray paint on a mission to leave a damaging mark on Teslas.
I just like the car and I need to drive into work. You know, it's pretty fast and electricity's cheaper than gas right now, so I enjoy having it. So it sucks that someone's writing on it.
This victim says his Tesla got hit with a massive Nazi across the entire side. Another victim we spoke to off camera had the same word spray painted on her car. They say they think it's probably politically motivated vandalism, someone who has a beef with Tesla CEO Elon Musk.
It's probably, related to a bigger movement, which sucks because I don't think we necessarily are. We're just sort of caught in the crossfire here.
And they're not alone. Investigators say 13 Teslas in Irvine parking structures have been tagged by the same guy in the last week.
A lot of people know that Teslas do record 360, and we're surprised that this man came up.
Ziggy Azarkan is a spokesperson for the Irvine Police Department. He says while the suspect's wearing different shirts in some of the videos, he's wearing the same shoes, did a really bad job of covering his face, and has a noticeable tattoo above his right elbow. They posted these videos on social media and already got some tips about his possible identity.
Our community works very hard for what they have, and people pay for these cars, and they shouldn't have to worry about the car being vandalized based on whatever this person's motivation is.
Whatever his motivation was, people who park their cars in these structures think it's rich that the targets of his tagging will likely lead to his arrest.
Teslas are probably the worst thing to target. They have cameras everywhere, so I think he'll get caught pretty quick.
I mean, luckily he's simple enough to do something like that because we have pretty good shots of him, and it'll help the police get him.
And investigators say that suspect is possibly looking at felony vandalism charges. If you recognize him, go ahead and call Irvine Police. Reporting live in Irvine, Kcal Dt, CBS LA.
Nicole, thank you. A school shooter